The next 10 to 20 years ain't going to be the same. The pace of change, an empowered consumer, the asymmetry of data completely breaking away, the power of the crowd. You know, it's actually a very, very different world. There's a lot of threats and risks in that, but there's also loads of opportunities. I was appointed as a CEO late 2016, actually, November, I think, 2016. Personally, I've had a bit of a checkered journey in that. You know, I've had interviews for CEOs where I've failed dreadfully because I fell into the trap of trying to be something I thought they wanted. It wasn't until such time as genuinely I knew why I wanted to be a CEO, what type of CEO I would be, and to find a fit in an organisation or a strategy that I could be my true self.
So do you think CEOs are made or are they born?
I don't know. The diversity of CEOs is quite different now. There's no DNA profile that says this is going to be a CEO. So I would probably fall more in the make camp. One thing I do see in common is some characteristics of great leaders. Yep, and I always summarise them as three things. The first is that they are quite purposeful. And from that comes vision and clarity and all that sort of stuff, but that sense of purposefulness. The other one's probably self-aware. A lot of great leaders are very aware of not just what they're good at, and what they're bad at, but also the impact they have. So that self-awareness has been something, but that gets learned. That's not a pill, that's not a DNA profile, it's something that's get learned. And then finally, probably the thing is the reflective. Good leaders are very reflective. They understand the situations, they understand how to lead in certain different times, and that's from learnings, that's from learning from others, that's from observing, and that's from mistakes. So for me, if I look at the characteristics of a great CEO, purposeful, self-reflective, and really self-aware, then I think a lot of that comes through being made, than just being born.
Totally agree with you. That's really interesting. So looking ahead, what do you think is going to change for businesses in the future?
The consumer is dramatically more informed now. As a result of that, they're a lot more demanding of organisations. Gone is the put the brand ad up and I trust you. Brands are judged now by the experiences that consumers have. So they're lived by action, not by promise. For me, the fight is for relevance. Business and brand promises something, and unless you are relevant to the people you serve, your consumers or your customers, I think your days are going to be numbered. You might be functionally good at what you do, but if you're not relevant, then you're not going to have a business. And so that's probably, it's always in the back of my mind. Insurance is important, but our insurance companies, yeah? And so I think that's a little bit of where I draw some inspiration to make sure that our fight is for relevance. We've got to look to the horizon rather than the waves lapping our feet. Personally, I think you can craft a plan, but ultimately it's the mindset of leaders within organisations to adapt, to be agile, to see things coming, to move quickly. There's no guarantees of your future, but you can increase your odds. I really believe in purpose and vision, but at the end of the day, it's pointless if I'm the only one who does. And so for me, the power comes from having our people aligned around the right thing, but actually even better, their own personal beliefs are completely aligned around the organisation beliefs. I think one of the biggest roles we have as leaders is to get our people bought into the vision. It's not something that happens in a PowerPoint at an annual presentation and you shall do. Great leaders are the ones who actually follow up words with actions. Their behaviours are congruent with their words. They're congruent with the culture. The skill of any leader is to be able to clearly articulate a future. Then it's also their job to have 1,000 conversations with people and make, the sense of that clear. There's a lot of people do the content every day, the whats and hows, but it's the job of leadership to free-frame that and to make sure that the why is really, really clear, that they give context to everything that we're doing. For me, I keep on coming back. If we've got a strategy that's clear, we've got to have the right culture to deliver that strategy, and we actually need the right people with the same belief set for that culture. And don't hire the ones and get rid of the ones, ultimately, that don't. And that's the harsh reality. I often see organisations want a desired culture, but then hire all the wrong leadership.
The failure question. Everyone has had failures in their life or things that have gone wrong. Are there any that you would be happy to share and what you learned from it?
Actually, the greatest leadership learnings that come through the failures. In saying that, when you're in the middle of failures, they are extremely hard and painful. And I've had small and large failures along the way. Probably two big learnings. Make sure that a team around you, with a lot of black hats. So for me, I've always, as a visionary and see opportunity, I need people to see failure, to see risk, and see the challenge and things.
Might be like that too.
The probably personal learning I've had to learn the hard way is personally attaching your self-worth to success or failure. So the ability to put this in context is really a powerful thing. There is a certain faking it until you make it. So there is situations where you deep down you're going, Jesus, how the hell are we going to make this? But the sense that you want to push on and confidence. But then you've got to balance that, I guess, in a more contemporary fashion with the vulnerability, is to be really open at times with people that, this is how I feel, or I'm really concerned we won't make this, or I don't have any of the answers here, And so for me, it is in that balance about being genuine, authentic and vulnerable, but at the same time, leadership is also about showing some purposefulness, ambition, confidence, even when times you may not be feeling that deep down.
So what advice would you give to someone who is stepping into a leadership role?
Be authentic. Don't try and be somebody you're not for the purposes of the role. You will only ever be successful in a leadership role if you're genuinely true to who you are. Because if you're going to try and be something you're not, it'll be caught out very quickly.
And what gets you out of bed in the morning? On the harder days. When you want to crawl back in and go, no, not today.
My wife. I just believe in what I do, work is not a job. It is a vehicle in which, I can contribute to New Zealand, and that's the way I sort of feel it. Life's short, give it a bash. So I think a lot of it is philosophy. I've always got a deep belief that business is to advance society for good. That's actually the role. What I've been really impressed with is the businesses that are advancing societal outcomes at a rapid pace, that are presenting opportunities beyond profit, the way their corporate social responsibility, that they're good for society, they're good for the planet, they're good for people. In this role, it's really about making sure that we're a productive nation and helping people to be healthier. And also too, I really do believe that New Zealand's always had great ideas. It's just now learning to industrialise those ideas into organisations that can have global impact. In the long term, it will be lovely to have our grandchildren, my grandchildren, wanting to carve their career in New Zealand rather than going overseas to make it. And so for me, that probably fuels me, is to make sure that we've got organisations, we've got large organisations, and we've got opportunities for kids in New Zealand to make it.